Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to DADBEAR DIY and our DADBEAR Downtimes collection of videos. Today we are continuing with our Space Engineers Survival Getting Started in Space Engineers 2023 tutorial series, and this is the Getting Started um, in Survival, Learning to Survive vanilla scenario. God, I've given it so many names now. I should call it the bane of my existence. But this is going to be episode 5. And in episode 4, you guys had the unfortunate experience of watching me bumble around and miss some very obvious things that I should have remembered from our first 2 task sets. And I didn't. So I made our 3rd task set, which was pressurization, a lot more difficult than it had to be. We are not going to do that today. We are going to move on to our 4th set of tasks. I am not going to delay much further. I'm getting our timer started. 45 minutes. Let's go. All right. So let's see. Today, it looks like our next task is going to be production. So if we look back this way, that's where we're headed. So let's go ahead and do that. Looks like we have a new task that has popped up. That is remote control. That one is almost 10 kilometers away, and that is at the drone repair platform. That will be interesting. Oh, I see some structure. There we go. Very cool. See a large cargo container. I'm not sure how this place is oriented, so I want to... No, I think I'm upside down. Although there's really technically no upside down in space, so... But I think this is the way it's supposed to be right here. What we got? I actually think this platform is made for us to pull up next to. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think that is what is going on here. I don't know how well it's going to work. And I got to be careful because our miner is going to bump into stuff. All right, let's park it. Go check it out. What I got here? Still doing that. Okay, large cargo container. I see some stuff that needs to be finished, built. I just want to take a quick look around real quick. Cargo, batteries. Go. Let's check out our task. Refinery toggle block on off. Start the task. This looks like an advanced production facility. There is already ore in the large container, but the conveyor tubes are unfinished. Conveyor tubes transport items between blocks. We already know that, so we need to prepare the conveyor tubes. Let's pull out our... I'm going to right-click on this to add those needed components to the build planner. I'm going to look up here. Looks like we need stuff up here also. Fly up. We're going to go ahead and add this one. And we're going to add this one. That is all of the incomplete conveyor tubes, and we may have to add more. Now, learning from our last episode, these parts are probably in this container. So we're going to use this button here to withdraw the components for the build planner. And it did have everything. We're already doing much better than we were before. I'm going to go ahead and get disconnected. This one here. There, we can repair the conveyor tubes. I'm not going to repair that one right now, just because it doesn't go to anything. Build and connect an assembler to the refinery. Well, that's what's supposed to go here, obviously. So let's go ahead and repair that now, so we know what's going to happen here. The refinery automatically pull ore from the container and refine it into ingots. These can be turned into components by an assembler. Unknown signal. How far away? 2.48. Okay. We do need an assembler. What do we have in our... We do not have anything in our... Assemblers are created with steel plate. I am going to grind these 2 blocks away. I don't know if this task is going to lead to something else. And without giving that away, I always like, an assembler is 2 blocks long. I'll show you what it looks like here. I'm going to go to my menu and I'm going to change something here. I'm going to get rid of this basic assembler block by double clicking on it. I'm going to add this survival kit block. And if you look, the survival kit block includes the basic assembler, which we just got rid of, a regular assembler, and then the industrial assembler. We are going to use the regular assembler. We're going to add that to the build planner. It requires steel plate, but we're going to set it right here. Okay. And we'll go up and get those parts. Everything was withdrawn. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to get this unknown signal real quick. And we're going to add those components that we just gathered. How are we doing on space? We're doing okay. Alright. We have ice though, that's nice. So we're going to go ahead and drop all this stuff over here. We're almost full. We might need to make some changes here to our... Drop that in there. Alright, so we're going to finish constructing that assembler, complete that part of the task, and see what it has for us to do next. Alright, we've completed that task. See tip, you can upgrade advanced refineries and assemblers with modules. Ah, okay. So they are bringing this up, and that is why I got rid of those 2 blocks underneath that were partially built. And that's because assemblers, these 2, this particular type that we built here, you can add modules on 4 sides. Since it's laying down horizontally. No, wrong button. There we go. You can remember in the last episode I mentioned how these small blocks are connectors for our modules. So that's what those are. So on this, we'll call it the vanilla Um, Advanced assembler, you can put a module on 4 sides. Because we have this laying down, if I were to grind this block away here and that block away, I don't even really need to ground that one away. Just one of these 2 blocks, I could add a module to the underside and have it kind of embedded in the floor, which saves space. Is there anything else we need to do here? We could see what we actually have inside our refinery. We have some iron also, I think. Got lots of parts here, that's good. It's a nice little space. Giving the industrial capacity here, this would be the place that I would choose to like start doing stuff. So let's see. Got iron. The refinery cooked iron. Small container is connected, so we can pull all this stuff from here and we can make parts as needed. Let's with a assembler, you can also disassemble parts. I take this scrap here. Don't need that. Get that. Sometimes you may have components, but you've run out of resources, and you can deconstruct components back into its base resources. So refinery should start cooking that iron that we just dropped in there. And we don't have any. I think we are finished with our tasks here. Let's go see. There was a button panel up here. Is there anything on this one? No, we are done. Wow, that was pretty easy. So the assembler, we'll just take this opportunity to, if you go into production, here you'll see you've got the assembling and the disassembling. It can't do both things at the same time. So you're either going to be in disassemble mode or you're going to be in assemble mode. Now right here, if you scroll over these particular items, it will tell you, you can see in the middle, what material type is required to make them and how much it's going to cost. So if I wanted to do one piece of bulletproof glass, it's going to cost me, according to this, 5 silicon wafers. Computers, a little bit of iron, a little bit of silicon, etc., etc., etc. The more complex the component, like you can see this gravity component, it requires silver, gold, cobalt, and iron. Silver and gold are a little bit more rare and harder to come by. Explosives, you're going to need magnesium powder. So magnesium powder comes from magnesium ore. Well, not all of the refineries can break down magnesium ore into magnesium powder. So know what your requirements are. That's going to determine what you can build. So you don't want to get ahead of yourself and start building something that you don't have the ability to actually make the parts for. For blueprints, for the assembler, there's different categories. So say you wanted to make a large, this here is large blocks. This is for small blocks. These are for components, so that's what we were looking at just a moment ago. Equipment, so this includes oxygen bottles, hydrogen bottles, canvas for parachutes, and data pads, tools, weapons, ammunition, and then whatever you have in the build planner. That's pretty cool. That's new. Large blocks, I'll give an example here. So say I wanted to make a large battery, large grid battery. If I were to click on this, it's going to automatically put in the production queue the items that it would take to make a large grid battery, which here shows that I would need to have at least 911 almost iron ingots 29 silicon wafers, and 54 nickel ingot. It kind of gives you an idea of what you need to have if you're going to be able to make it. If you don't have those raw resources available, you're not going to be able to make the components to make that thing. So, but it's kind of cool. But by choosing the item you're going to build and putting it in the production queue, it automatically makes all the required components here, right? So that's the large blocks. So these are large grid blocks. After a while, you'll start to become familiar with what's required and what's like the key component for the blocks that you use. Like for the batteries, it's the power cells. That's where people usually have the issue. Small blocks, now we're getting into small grid. And you can just come through and you can click. Now say you accidentally click something, or you click it more than once, and it shows up twice and you don't want to do that. If you come back over here to the construction queue, so we're going to go to components and we're going to start making something here. That's not going to take that long to make, so I'm not going to have time to explain it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. If you right click it, it disappears. You've canceled that order. Okay. It'll still will have made whatever it was able to make, but you can cancel what's being done. You can also, if you have a list of items that are being built, you can prioritize that by moving items you want built first to the front. If you get to a component that you don't have the resources for, it will make as many of them as it can, and once it can't, it will move on to the next item. Another shortcut, if you need to make a lot of something, so like steel plate, like I individually clicked, what, 12 that time for the steel plates. If I wanted to do it shorter, if you hold down the control button and you click, it'll make 10. Okay. If you hold down the shift button and you click it, it'll make 100. We don't need 100 though, so we're just gonna stop that. And if you need a lot, if you hold down control and shift and left click, it'll make 1,000. So those are shortcuts for using that. Let's go to distance. Now, this right here is actually, the items that it produces are placed in the assembler's inventory. Okay? If you want to disassemble, you have to place items, the items that you want disassembled, into the inventory of the assembler. You come back to your production kit, make sure that they're in the inventory, and then you can click disassemble all, and that will disassemble anything you've placed in the inventory. If you don't want to put it specifically in the inventory, right here, we have 32 of these, right? So here's this item. It's the only one that's not highlighted red, which means it's available to work from. And this will pull from all of your inventory, okay? I want to disassemble the 32 steel plates that I've made. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to drag, oh, that's, okay. I didn't mean that. I thought I'd be able to right click and over there, but that's not the case. So I'm going to click on that one more time. That's going to give us 30, and now I'm going to use that control click to do 30. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I can cancel this like I did before. But remember, you cannot assemble and disassemble at the same time. And now I'm just going to hit disassemble all. We'll get that iron back. Not as much, if I'm correct. I don't think we get as much back. Or we may. I don't tend to use disassembling that often, so that might be a point of contact. If anybody is watching out there that knows, wants to leave it in the comments, that'd be great. Really, really appreciate it. That'd be awesome. All right. But that's the assembler. The modules that can be added to the assembler include the speed module, and that's a speed module. You have your yield module and your power efficiency module. Now, there's not really a reason, in all the time I've been playing, I have never seen an argument, a successful argument, for having a yield module on an assembler. These are more important for the refineries. So it's always been power efficiency and speed. A lot of times, people will sacrifice power for speed. And the way these are put on is simply set up here and they click that on, and these require steel. So let me grab, and we'll just kind of, we'll throw a couple, just grab 10. We're not actually going to build this, but I just want to show you how they lay out. So, speed, click there. So we, in this case, we would have a speed module there. And we have a staircase blocking putting a module on this side. So
Energy
here
low.
we're going to use, in this case, we would probably just go with 1 and 1. Now granted, like I mentioned before, I could take out this part and I could put a module on the bottom that's embedded in the floor, yes. But that's kind of how our, we're just going to stick with this idea right now. And this is kind of how this would look. Okay. So there's the modules. They increase, again, power efficiency, which can be very, very important when you are out here on a small ship. Like I only have 2 batteries on this ship. And assemblers and refineries use a lot of power. You can quickly drain your batteries. So power efficiency is important. It is not a fixed improvement. You have room for 4 slots on your assembler. If you put 4 speed modules on, that does not, you're not getting the same increase in speed from all 4 modules. Okay. You're getting the first module will give you a 25% increase, and I'm just throwing out a percentage here. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember what the actual percentage is. Speed module number 4 increases your production speed by 25%. Speed module number 2 increases your production speed by 25% of the remaining 75%. So it's not going to be as much of an increase from the original, or as the first module. Same thing goes with the yield on your refineries. You're not going to get 4 times the amount of, no, that's not the way it works. There is an argument to be made that it's not worth putting 4, you know, that it's not worth putting 4, you're not getting that much more for the components that it costs to make it. And the yield module is a little bit more, we'll say, pricey when it comes to components because it requires superconductors, which require gold. And if you don't have access to gold or a way to refine gold, there's really no sense in doing that. So, okay, that was task number 4. That was actually pretty easy. It wasn't too bad at all. And you know what? I'm going to keep this super short. There's no real reason for us to go after task 5 yet. We can do that on our next episode. We do have about 15 minutes left, so we could, if we wanted, try to make some adjustments to our ship. But you know what? I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine. This is going to work. This is going to be good for us. We don't need to do anything crazy here. Let's just take care of our task. We'll let the task dictate what we need to do. And I think that will work out best for us. So we are going to cut this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's super short. Easy task. I hope you learned a little bit about the assemblers and the refineries and the speed modules for upgrading those. We've got a nice little collection spot here. We know we can always come back to this place and drop stuff off. Real quick, we'll take a look at what our next tasks are going to be. We had a new task pop up, and that is only 5.7 kilometers away versus our remote control task, which is 9 kilometers away. And this one here is hydrogen thrusters, which, you know what, it's a good idea. We're not going to do anything to our ship because maybe hydrogen thrusters will have us making a change to our ship. So we'll go do that one next, hydrogen thrusters, in the next episode. Guys, again, I hope this is a lot better than the last episode. I know I kind of bumbled my way through that one. I hope you enjoyed this one. Really simple, really short. If you like the episode, do me a favor, give me the thumbs up, and then hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can tell when, or so you know when we've got new stuff coming out. And we do have a lot of stuff coming out. Besides this series here, I'm also taping, I think, 3 other scenarios right now, and there's still trying to work out a dedicated release schedule as far as which ones are going to come out in what order on what days or whatnot. And I'm still doing DIY projects, so the DIY projects have been getting the attention lately, but these playthrough videos have been fun to do also, and I'm still taking the opportunity to learn about the videography and the editing and that kind of stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be getting another one out here before too long. We do have one posted for another scenario, the Lost Moon scenario. It's another simple survival scenario. So if you like this one and you want to see some of the stuff we're learning here applied in a regular scenario, you can check that one out. That's the Lost Moon scenario. Episode 1 of that is out. And we'll just keep chugging along. So, thank you guys. I'll talk to you soon. I'll stop wasting your time. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye-bye.